In this video, we'll study two controls: action groups to add actions to the action bar, and tab control to arrange the controls in the layout. The elements displayed in the user interface of a mobile application are usually driven by actions. These actions are displayed to the end user in different ways: images, buttons, standard action bars, and so on. An action group is a UI element used to group actions, which can be shown dynamically on the screen. By default, every layout includes an action group called application bar. In Work with Restaurants, we can see the application bar. Also, we can see that the predefined search and advanced search actions are displayed, as well as the insert option. We may add a map button that will call an object to prompt the user to enter the maximum time he or she has available for lunch. After selecting this maximum time frame, the restaurants that commit to providing the service within that time frame will be displayed on a map. Since these two buttons, Insert and Call a Map, don't fit in the application bar, they're displayed as a submenu, which is done by default. But we may want to load another action bar in some other case. For example, one with a button to show the closest restaurants to the device's current location, and another to show the cheapest restaurants. To this end, we could add another action group, call it More Actions, and in it insert two buttons, to which we may also associate images, so that they're displayed together with the text. To show the action bar that we've created, we should add another button to the application bar, a button called More. In its associated event, we will configure action group More Actions to be displayed with the show method associated with the control. At runtime, we see that pressing this button replaces the application bar with the other bar we created. Instead of doing what we did before, we could have inserted a new group directly into the application bar and insert the buttons within it. This is how it would look at runtime. Clicking on the More option, which is the group, displays the group and shows the buttons. We will work with the object Work with Devices Restaurant in the list. First, let's see in the emulator how the default action bar is displayed, with the options Search, Advanced Search, and Insert. We click on the action bar and right-click to access the option Insert button. A dialog box will be displayed to enter the event name, and we will enter Map. In the emulator, as there's no more space to show the options, this icon has been automatically added to indicate in the standard way in Android that there are more actions. Pressing it displays the Insert and Map options. The Insert option is now displayed as a text. The icon with the plus sign is no longer used because icons are shown only when there's enough space in the action bar. We return to GeneXus and select the action bar again. We click on the arrow, which will show the options Select Action Group and Add Action Group. We add an action group, change its name to More Actions, correct the caption, and now we will add the buttons. In event name, we enter Cheapest for the first one, and we'll insert the second one with the event name Closest. Let's return to the main action bar to insert a new button. We'll call the event More. We'll go to the definition of that event and enter moreactions.show. Let's go back to the emulator, which now shows the bar. Something we didn't see in the presentation is that we can change it so that instead of an action bar, it's shown as a sheet. Note how it looks now. This is like a kind of dialog box with options shown. We return to the default application bar and delete the More button. We'll replace it with a group. So we select it and enter the caption More again. Let's go to the group to insert the buttons. Closest first. For the second one, we'll select the event that is already created, cheapest. Let's change the caption to uppercase. Back in the emulator, note that the More option now has an arrow. The reason is that it's a group now, and if we click on it, the drop-down menu is changed for the one we defined. Let's continue with the presentation. The tabs allow us to organize the information in tabs. It's enough to drag it from the toolbox to any layout and define each tab, inserting within its screen the desired controls. Remember that when we saw the material design guidelines, we mentioned that the tabs had to look a certain way. For example, using a color to indicate when a tab is selected. Then, using the same color in the entire application is recommended. So in other words, when a tab control is displayed, it should be in that color. The color displayed in Android by default is green, as we can see here. We're positioned on a session's detail, and here we would see general information about the session and its tracks. What we can do to change this color, since we know that the tab control will have an associated class by default, the tab class of the theme, is to open the property Tab Strip Indicator Color, and then set the color we want to use as indicator of the selected tab. Let's see how it's changed. Another possibility is to change, for example, if the tabs appear at the top of the screen, which is the default value, or below, as they appear now. This change can also be made in the tab class from the tab's position property, which has two values, bottom and top. When changing it to top, the application will look as shown here. Let's see it again in GeneXus. Note how the tabs are displayed, as we're positioned on a speaker's detail. We open the theme, GX28 Android 4, and select the tab class. Here we have tabs positions, but first we change the tab strip indicator color to the base color. Note that it has changed. We can use track color 001, and it takes this light blue. We'll leave the default color. Let's look at tabs position. When top is selected, they're automatically displayed at the top, and we can change it to bottom again. Great. Let's review what we've just seen. We talked about action groups, added options to the application bar, inserted additional action bars, and learned how to add groups with controls within them. Regarding the tab control, we saw how to customize the class, or more specifically, the tab strip indicator color and the position using tabs position.